Dear colleagues, good afternoon. We resume our working day. I'm Valentin Pugacheva, and today, in the framework of our project, the spokesperson of Peaceful Life, we discuss the issue parliamentary hearings related to the issues of internally displaced persons from Donbas and Crimea. And Mr. Nemira from the parliament believes that these public hearings may raise awareness of people on the issues related to these people and would allow these people to be heard from the parliamentary rostrum. And also Mr. Nemira mentioned that the MPs wish to understand what improvements in the legislative base are needed, and they also would like to bring together all the governmental stakeholders to improve the situation with IDPs. Before outbreak of the conflict in Donbas, we had 6.5 million of population. As of today, we have 1.5 million registered IDPs from Donbas. And our interlocutors are KrymSOS initiative, which provide assistance to IDPs. The KrymSOS initiative assisted more than 160 people last year, and they provided more than 80,000 consultations to the applicants. And we have Victoria Savchuk, expert on legal issues, providing assistance on behalf of initiative KrymSOS. Please do not speak quickly. We have simultaneous translation. And would you please describe in more detail the KrymSOS initiative, how long you have been active, etc.? I am Victoria Savchuk. I am expert, an advocacy expert from KrymSOS initiative. From outbreak of the Donbas conflict, we cover not just IDPs from Crimea, but also from Donbas. Our initiative was founded in February 27th February 2014, from beginning of the Crimean occupation. First, we worked as an information platform, and later, when people started to flee from those hotspots, we understood that the state assistance should be continuous, and currently we do this on permanent basis. We provide IDPs with legal consultancies, with humanitarian aid, with integrational aid, and we coordinate our activities with local populations. And legal sector takes a big place in our big space in our activities. So we organize personal receptions for people, that is consultancy services. Also, we provide the secondary legal aid, that is representation in courts, and communicational activities. We coordinate our activities with other stakeholders. Also, we participate in drafting of legislation, which is to support the IDPs. We cooperate with international and domestic sponsors organizations. Almost 2 years we have been cooperating with volunteer organizations. we are executive partner of the UN agency on refugees, and as for Crimea, we have such an information portal which is called KrymInfo, where we continuously post articles, informations about events in Crimea. Speaking about parliamentary hearings, tomorrow at 3 p.m. there will be parliamentary hearings on IDPs and from Crimea and occupied territories. And by the way, topic covers also people residing in IDPs. Those hearings had been being prepared for a long period of time, and the Parliamentary Committee on Human Rights involved broad public into preparation of these public hearings, and I think that this is a degree and a step of recognition of our role played in assistance to IDPs, and they authorized us even to produce some materials. Thus, the committee expressed its confidence in us as in partners, and for some months we have been developed some materials which will be used in handouts and will be suggested to the attention of the hearings participants. Also, we had an opportunity to provide our recommendations, which will be taken as a basis for the Verkhovna Rada resolution as the main issues that we raised in our recommendations, and which are the most developed as of today. This is the lack of comprehensive concept, comprehensive vision as to the policy on IDPs. That's why the state policy on the IDPs from occupied territories should be developed, and besides that, we believe that there should be some responsible body, whether there should be agency or ministry or council or whatever. It should have it has to bear out the function which the executive bodies have to perform as to IDPs. Actually, currently these functions as to IDPs are dispersed. I would like to point out that the situation when different issues related to IDPs, when they are dispersed among many executive bodies, is inefficient, and even those funds which were allocated for IDPs, they were implemented, they were spent by 20 or 30%. That's why we would like to underscore the value of that parliamentary hearings. This will allow to bring the problem issues of IDPs to the attention of not just broad public, to the attention of MPs and government. That is, IDPs have a lot of problems. They lack accommodation. They have difficulties with employment. They have difficulties with getting social aid. The Crimean IDPs, they have problems with the status of the resident and problems with bank services, educational problems, violation of labor rights and guarantees for Crimean residents. The passport services and administrative services are the problem. Without a certificate of an IDP, people from Crimea and Donbas, IDPs cannot get any assistance, any state service, any administrative service, any pension or welfare payment. We should not forget that IDPs are the same citizens as other Ukrainian citizens, and we should not take IDPs not as a problem but as a resources. And we should accept them as social and politically conscious people, and the state should not just take these people as a burden. It should look for the opportunities to satisfy the rights and freedoms of those people. I have several questions to you, Victoria. Do you know what other civil society organizations were involved to developing recommendations toward tomorrow's hearings? As far as I understand, the human rights committee was the organizer of these hearings, and you had to provide recommendations. What did the committee do? Whether they will produce their recommendations. The committee carries out all executive work. They have to invite people. They also seek recommendations from government authorities, from other stakeholders. We deal with the position of the civil society because we are very familiar with the problem. And besides that, the committee has a lot of other work. As for partnership organizations, this is a huge number of organizations all around Ukraine which provided us with recommendations which registered at the parliamentary hearings, and around 700 people will participate in those hearings, and these are just ordinary people. They are coming from different organizations. We have Donbas SOS, we have Free Ukraine organization, assistance to the members of parliament, the internal center for internal displaced people, the Center for Social and Economic Research, and there are a lot of organizations. I believe that all of them will contribute to the issue. Thank you, Victoria. You also mentioned that this will be the first parliamentary hearings on IDPs in the plenary room. There were some hearings in the committees, and not more than 20% of recommendations were implemented. Whether you look positively at a chance that this time your recommendations will be implemented in bigger amount. First of all, I believe that these new hearings are held at a much higher level, on the one hand. On the other hand, we expect to have almost all the MPs at the parliamentary hearings. And if at least half of those MPs who will be present at the parliamentary hearings understand the situation with the IDPs and understand the necessity to improve their life and truly understand that Ukraine has to enjoy the rights of those people, of IDPs and those who stay in the occupied territories. And when the state realize that it has to do more, I expect that the civil society, which works on IDP's problems, will feel stronger support of MPs. Also, we believe that media coverage of this event would allow to revive attention to the issue and remind people that the problem exists. Frankly speaking, many people feel tired and worried because of tired and worried because of IDPs and all continuous problems, but against this background, we have to remind people that they might have neighbors who are IDPs. So we think that this media event also will be important. We expect that the effect will be more positive than neutral or negative. Victoria, thank you. One more question from me, and then we will shift to questions from the room. Recently, Olga Gvozdova and you were at the radio program, and you mentioned about flash mob. MPs come to the hearings. Please describe more.
This flash mob happened, and there are civil society activists who are interested in public hearings. They support this idea. They can create an avatar, or they can send a photo with a message to people's deputies on the issues of IDP or occupied territories, and then to place it in the social media. And we created such photos, and it's not a bad idea. Colleagues, do you have questions? I see. Please introduce yourself first. Victoria Topol, Громадське радіо. Tell us, what are the recommendations you provided to the power which were implemented? I mean, 20 or 30% you mentioned. Firstly, they adopted a draft law, and it was introduced into the law on IDPs, and also maybe this is one of the biggest victories, and also one of the main assessment of our activity. And also we see problems in the implementation of these changes. and people have some difficulties. It's very difficult to tell about it. It takes too much time. And also activization of cooperation with ministries of justice and the order of exit and entrance and exit from Crimea for our citizens and foreigners, and also the issues that last year there was a temporary order on entrance to the EU area. Then there was a program adopted on civilization and adaptation of IDPs and strategy on human rights. And there are other aspects, but we see some movement last year, and this is not bad. These are not bad results. This is a continuation of the creation of a platform for further discussions and resolving the issues of IDPs. Dear colleagues, do you have other questions or comments? Please. Sergei Malerchuk, Ukrainian Crisis Media Center. Thank you, Victoria, that you are our guest today. Can you tell us about international organizations you cooperated with? Can you name these organizations? Thank you for your question. International organizations are interested in the situation in the country, not maybe like in 2014, but still they are interested in our country and the events that are here. And as I told you before, our partners are NGO on the rights of refugees and other organizations throughout Ukraine. Also, the issues of IDPs are considered by other organizations, and we get support from OSCE, a monitoring mission of UNO on human rights, and Amnesty International, other organizations. Foreign organization, for example, German organization, all UNO structures that are here in Ukraine are active participants, and they work on recommendations and other questions concerning this. So these are international and foreign organizations, Polish organizations that are interested in the work with local NGOs. The Netherlands also participate. International community actively support us in this direction. So one more question. No, there's no other questions. Thank you. And I ask the question now. So do you plan to create some events in respect of the date, 2 years from the occupation of Crimea? First, we are going to commemorate the KrymSOS, and you can also see some announcements on our site. We now carry out some preparation work, and we will hold some events, and we will take part in other events that are organized by partner organizations. Thank you very much, and we actively cooperate. Thank you for this Skype connection. Have a nice day, and we wish you success. The same to you. Thank you, and goodbye. Dear colleagues, thank you for being with us, and I remind that now the issues of IDP are discussed during the third forum of IDPs that is in the Tatar diaspora forum, and then we will meet on Thursday, and till the next time, goodbye.